Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Well, I'm back again with another video. It's not about what I promised earlier, but they're just things that I want to say. I'm actually going to go back to one of my earlier things that I've said in the past, and it resonates. As I was looking through this, I said, you know what? This is something that just needs to go out. And it's better worded when I wrote it then than how I'm saying it now because I understand the feeling behind it. But when I wrote it down very uniquely in a way, in a sort of channeling, writing things down kind of way. So if you notice, what we don't have here is just a lot of details specifically about what this process looks like when we're moving along in dimensions. Okay? So it's always going to fluctuate, it's always going to be something that goes up and down, and usually it goes up and it stays up. So humanity is brought up energetically, and then those that can handle that kind of vibration will stay at a certain level, and then others around you just wouldn't realize it. Okay, it's not that they're not going to have distance from you, like they're holding a 10-foot stick just to keep you away, right? Not like that, but definitely there will be a noticeable difference generally coming from you towards others as you see them cycle and go in circles, right? They're going to be going around in circles. Things are going to come full circle for you. How the situation around you just happens to repeat itself, and you can catch on to that third dimensional matrix that is unraveling itself and is I wouldn't say coming to a close, but it's just distancing itself from those that have a higher vibration. So I feel great. I'm coming around here for you guys with a good feeling and good energy today. So I feel great. I hope everyone's doing well this evening. And in another news, so what I wrote then was that third dimension's falling apart, and it'll be difficult to keep it together. It will become harder and harder because more are waking up. Okay, so for those that are waking up, your energy is going to be different, and as much that you won't be able to hold together the third dimensional experience, but you'll be among it and you'll be experiencing it. Like I've said earlier, with the clash of a third dimensional and a fifth dimensional experience, it's just going to kind of ram against each other in a way that you'll realize, hey, there's something here, there's something going on. All right, so that's that. Okay. um so this is something else that I wrote that I didn't feel that it was right to express it, and it's basically about our past and what the Lyrans are telling me about us being their very distant ancestors to us that we know very little of. So these beings are cat-like beings, and don't think of your house pet. Think of it as a very lion-looking being that is it's pure love. They're our ancestors. We have their DNA and they're part of us. But they every once in a while I get information that comes in, and when it does, I express it as best as I can on paper and give it to you as clear as I can, so that we're all on the same page. Okay, so when Avalon was destroyed in Lyra, Avalon was a planet that was destroyed in Lyra where they first attacked the Draco reptilians from the Draco system. We moved to Vega, and in Vega we defended ourselves. In the Vega, we defended ourselves better, and they just said that they used to eat reptilians too. So I'm sure that they had a fire and they had a 10-foot stick where they stuck a few body parts in something and just kind of grilled them and ate them as well, which is kind of disgusting. But that's what it's said there. Okay. Another thing regarding to this scenario is that the Vikings, for example, the Vikings are a descendant group of Lyrans that couldn't or wouldn't just let go of that mentality of, I want to say, battling or going through that phase that they had to go through because of this reptilian invasion that they had billions of years ago, okay? And that needed to be worked out of that soul. Those souls needed to work out that energy that they had because it was something that was thrust upon you. When you feel someone's energy come along, you can feel everything about that person. And in this scenario, they had this malicious energy that wanted to eat them and then just ate them right back initially. And they didn't suffice that energy enough. So, what happens? You find a planet, you find a place that has the right conditions where you can play out these archetypes of battle, warriors, kingships, and honor, and you have your crew, I have my crew, and we're battling over, I don't know, a seaport, or going off into discovering new lands and conquering new lands, etc. That kind of stuff. Think about Vikings. Watch any Viking show, you'll know what I mean. That needed to be worked out. So that kind of energy, this planet was ready for it, and happened in that way, and it was used for that purpose, to work out that kind of energy. Even still today, we might have these sort of skirmishes of groups that may be misaligned in one way or another. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, what's the difference between that and a reptilian? In which case, the reptilians haven't quite gone past that phase yet. Talking about maybe now millions of years ago, they haven't worked out that energy themselves. Who's to say when they'll do it? I mean, in any respect, we were Lyrans, and I'm speaking as if we, right? Respectfully honored the planet that we were on. We worked around the environment so that we wouldn't disrupt the way that the landscape was positioned. We worked our energies around their planet instead of terraforming, as an example, this planet to make it fit the way that we want it to be. It's a little different back then, and then we were attacked. So it's just a coming back to a circling around moment, feeling that you get, right? And I get it too. We come across these events in our lives which we say, you know what, are we going to really make these same mistakes again? I don't think so. Okay. So that's explaining it to me. The whole, we used to have them for breakfast or dinner or whatever, on a grill them on the grill, and the shish kebab thing with the whole, I don't know. That's a little interesting. They put these images and these memories, and what I do is, what I like to do is, I like to hold on to that energy, right? And I like to think for myself, is it something that resonates as truthful? Or is it something that, you know what, it's just a thought. It's just an idea. And you go along with it until you just don't even put any energy into it and you move on to other things. But it resonates enough that it was worth mentioning. It was something that I wrote down when I sat down a few days ago and put things together on my very last video, and it's still here on paper. So for me, it feels very, it resonates, and it makes sense in lots of ways. Thinking about the Viking example that I've just given you guys. All right. So, all right. Well, I mean, there's some things that I can talk about, and this is just going to be a segment that it's not going to be worth mentioning in this video. This is just a quick update of something that I wanted to separate, and I just didn't want to make a video the very same day saying something completely different. I've chosen a different day, and my circumstances around today changed so much that I now have time to do some things that I wanted to do, but I am not at liberty to tell. I am going to put things together, and this idea here it goes along with some of the experiences I had on the ship, so it's not worth mentioning. I'm just reading and I'm looking through things, but in any case, yes, I hope you enjoy the tidbit of information that I've just put out for you. Hopefully, we can all get together. We can all experience the fifth dimension whenever it's here, whenever it manifests itself. I mean, it's pure bliss. It's like you're inside of a comfy cloud and your energy is mixed in with everything else. And you feel this uniqueness and this pull towards this wanting to be in this blissful state forever. It's amazing. And I felt that right before the new year. It's amazing. And I hope that all of you are feeling this energy now because it's there. Um, One last thing, now that we're in the subject, there are a lot of people out there that are fighting the good fight. Okay? And I wrote this a while ago, and it makes sense to talk about this now. Give me a second, guys. Hold on. It fits right in. Okay? Uh-oh. Where'd it go? Oh, this isn't good. Let me see. Okay, I can't find it. I just saw it like right before I started the video, and it's in there somewhere. But the other thing was just as important. What I mentioned, this is I'm gonna paraphrase. It's just I wanted to read it word for word. But there are those of you out there that you guys are fighting the good fight, and you're gonna think that you're stuck in the fourth dimension as you go through these um, phases of your lives that you need to go through so that your soul can move on in its evolutionary process, like I mentioned with the Vikings. So we know that you're stuck in this dimensional, fourth dimensional battle. It's a battle for your mind, okay? And what you need to be not too worried about is that when the time comes and you're still in this brainwashed mind control where you're just in this bucket full of crabs, are all in the same place, and there are these crazy ideas in your head. I hope this makes sense. We're going to get you out of there. We're going to get you out of there. We know that this is a situation for you all that you have to go through, right? For the continuity of your soul evolution and just, the governing part, okay? The governing part of your soul that says, I need to resolve this before I can move on. And those stuck in that mindset, we're going to get you out of there. Just work your soul contract, work on your soul's requirement to go through this phase. so that you can move on. Now, this gets very messy. You know, I don't want to get involved because it's your goal to um, figure it out, so to speak. But I've learned enough from different entities, mainly the angelic realm, of how they do things and how they help humanity out when they feel that they just need somebody just to throw them a bone and help them understand. But I don't feel the energy right now for what I could say to get you through this process, but I know you're getting there. And once you're in a situation where we can pull you out and you can stop having very restrictive thoughts about how things are out there in the world, right? Past the ionosphere, then we can have a very brief conversation about the things you need to hear so you can move on and have your soul growth. So I hope that makes sense for you all. And remember again that not everything is going to be linear going forward, and not all plans ever work out the same way that we want them to, but we always hope for the best. And I leave you with that. I want you all to have a great evening, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good one.